My name is Kalita Smith. I'm 8.5 years old. I live in Oakland, California. I go to school at the Oakland Community Learning Center. My school was started by the Black Panther Party.
The school was an oasis, a haven, and a turning point for anybody who came to teach or to work here or to cook here, because we served 3 meals a day. I didn't mention that. And that happened because of the children, because there was breakfast and lunch, and then the children were hungry and we added dinner. You couldn't be a student here without being transformed. And the wonderful work that the men of valor who house this building at 61st, it used to be East 14th Street, now International Blvd in Oakland. The beautiful work that they do is such that the men who come for this set of reentry programs have often said to the pastor, "This used to be my school." One of the grandparents of one of the children said to Huey, "We need a dedicated school site. We don't want to have to move from this place to that place. We need to have a real school that the community can depend on." And Huey said, "Let me think about it. Let me see what we can do." So Huey's friends formed a nonprofit organization called the Educational Opportunities Corporation, which found this school building and bought it for the purpose of a designated school site for 2.5 to 12-year-old children in the community. We didn't transport children here from more affluent parts of Oakland. We reached out to the housing projects and the neighborhoods nearby, as well as the neighborhoods of Richmond and South Berkeley and other parts of Oakland, as well as San Francisco.
Well, as someone that's from this community and seeing the changes in it, specific to displacement, we lost 30% of the black population in Oakland. But we're not only losing people, we're losing institutions, we're losing buildings, we're losing the place that made Oakland, Oakland. And so some of the work we've been doing with the Black Culture Zone is simply that. It's preservation of our rich cultural legacy and letting this generation and future generations know the greatness of the ground that they walk upon. I mean, Food King is one of those iconic landmarks in this part of the community. I'm from 92nd and Holly, so I grew up just around the corner. And as a kid, we used to come by this grocery store and we looked at the outside of it and said, "Man, this thing like it used to be a movie theater, right?" It was a significant place because it was one of many businesses on this corridor that was actually black owned. In the inside of Food King, they had a meat market that was black owned. They had a liquor store that was black owned. They had a record store, it was black owned. Nowadays, you don't see too many black owned businesses. And that's really sad, it's depressing, because a lot of residents in the area are still black. If we look at transportation projects, historically or even specific to Oakland, they always come at the detriment of the black community. If we look at the BAR station, what it did to West Oakland, when they built the Cypress Freeway, the original double-decker that collapsed during the 1989 earthquake, they uprooted thousands of black families. They destroyed black-owned homes to build transportation projects that's supposed to benefit the entire city. So now here they are once again saying, "Oh, we want to make sure people can get from East Oakland to downtown 15 minutes faster." But the hell with the businesses on both sides of the corridor. We had Perry's Furniture on 72nd and International. It's been there for 5 decades. It went out. If people cannot park, they're not going to come here to patronize the businesses here. So if I want to get a haircut here, I can't park here. So guess what? We have to go into the side streets, the residential areas to park. So now you will be parking in front of other people's homes, which will block their ability to park in front of their own home, right? This beauty supply store been there for decades. I used to walk this street every day. I went to Highland Elementary on 85th. This thing is closed. I have not seen so many closed down buildings. When I grew up, this whole corridor was thriving. Why it's important for us today? This is the last battlefield for black people in Oakland. They've already gentrified North Oakland and pushed the black people out. They've already did that in West Oakland. East Oakland is the last, what we call the last safe space for black people in this city, who are already rooted here to remain rooted here. And we have an opportunity to fight to get ahead of it. We don't have to wait until gentrification takes place and then say, oh, let's do something about that.
So the Black Culture Zone is pretty much rooted in a perspective of anti-displacement of black people, and how we do that is through strategies of acquiring ownership. Right now, without ownership, that's where displacement is rapidly happening. So we want to make sure that we have ownership of our properties, of our houses, of commercial buildings, such as the one like this one, to become our Black Culture Zone hub. Like, our culture stay getting stolen. Our dances, like everything, our ideas and things like that. We're just really not compensated or really valued for the culture that we actually provide to the nation, to hip hop, to some of the trending like dance scenes that's going on, things like that. And so the East Oakland Black Culture Zone would be a designation, a nationwide designation that you can come and experience the arts, culture, and economics of authentic East Oakland Black culture. Being said, tourism is coming, we can't avoid it. And with that being said, how do we want to partake in that economy without partaking in gentrification and anti-displacement? People want to come here, so let them come here and let them see us, but not in an exploitative way, in a way that we appropriate and benefit from economically and wholeheartedly.